Welcome back to the channel. I'm here in beautiful Medellin, Colombia. This is my final week or two here. I've been here for a long time, about almost 11 months now. And I'm going to be leaving, going to the coast, either Colombia or Mexico. Haven't yet decided. But I want to share with you guys today a few tips that I've learned about living in Colombia, structuring where you live, the freedom in where you live, and also when you go to a new place, what do you do? So, number one, right off the gate, I would recommend staying within your allotted passport time. Like I said, I've been here 11 months, but that's not how long that my passport lets me stay here. So that means that I've stayed longer than my tourist visa of what my passport allows. And I knew this at the time, and I actually went to start a corporation in Colombia. I had a plan. I had employees, I had the works, the legal, the accounting. I had a place, like a physical store that I had signed to rent. And I was doing all this because I thought I wanted to get a 3-year visa with Colombia so that I could stay here. However, I would recommend staying within your allotted time because for whatever reason, I thought that Colombia is the only place, and Colombia is a wonderful place. I think I'll always live at least part of the year in Colombia. But at the same time, I've realized in living here this long that I don't need to be here year round. And in studying myself, I really enjoy my freedom. I really like being nomadic. And in fact, I live in a penthouse right now, 3 stories, 3,500 square feet in the best part of town. On paper, it seems like it's really, really wonderful, but I actually felt like I was freer when I was living in the jungle and bouncing around to my next place. Like, for the most part, all of the places that I've lived in have been less than 2 months. And now that I'm in a 6-month lease in my penthouse, I actually feel less free. I feel less luxury and less freedom in feeling stuck. I have more things right now, like more physical possessions. When I was living from place to place, I didn't know where I was going to be a week or two from now, and all I had was my possessions in my little suitcase. Basically, it was one outfit for each day of the week, and I felt super free. I felt so much adventure, and to me, I felt like I was really living. But now that I'm more like settled in a long-term spot with more stuff, I feel a lot more stress. I feel more anxiety. I kind of feel overwhelmed. Like, my greatest value being freedom, I don't really feel like I necessarily have that at all times. So that's why I'm going to go and I'm going to get out of this. And I would suggest that to you if you were going to a new country, a new city, is don't weigh yourself down with getting this long-term place, because then you're going to end up breaking your lease or having a problem whenever it's time to go. And then as far as possessions, if you have more possessions, it's only going to make it more difficult for you to go and actually explore. If you end up having a bunch of stuff and you have many, many suitcases, or you have to put stuff in storage, then it just makes things more complicated. Because if you have either an opportunity or an inclination that, like, you want to go ASAP, you want to go somewhere else, the ideal version is that, okay, you only have like just a few things and you only need 30 minutes to pack your suitcase. But then if you have to deal with storage and more stuff, like, it's just one thing on your list that you don't need. What you need to be thinking is, okay, does this place seem like fun where I'd want to go explore? Is there opportunity there? Those are the things that you need to think about, not the stuff. So, not the lease. Those are stuff that's going to get in your way. It's going to make your international life more challenging. And then when you do get to actually, no, I'm going to say one more thing about the visa. Stay within your amount of time that your passport allows. When you come back the next year, if you want to, then you could look at getting a residency if the country allows you to buy it, or you could look at buying some real estate. If it doesn't give you residency or citizenship, it definitely get you a long-term visa. So I would look at doing that if you find that it's somewhere where you really want to be. But at the same time, like, you could just keep coming back every year for 3 months, for 6 months, and it'd be totally fine. I had this thing etched in my mind. Like I said, I felt like I needed to be here a really long time, but There's just so many places in the world. I don't know why. At least I probably wouldn't be happy if I felt like I need to be in a country the whole year long. As far as you buying a place, I don't know. Depends on if you'd want to rent it out or not. I don't really like the idea of renting out my property. I've done that before. I had a bad experience. It would be more so just, do I feel like I want to be here long term? Do I want to have the value of having my own spot when I come here? Those are just things that you have to think about. And then if you're going to a new country or a new city for the first time and you're actually making your trip and you're booking your flight, I would recommend booking a hotel or an Airbnb for 2 to 5 days, and do so in the heart of the city, the downtown, where everything's going on. And while you're there, make an effort to talk to people, to ask around, to find out where things are, what's going on, and depending on your preference of what you want, do you want more of a chill existence on the outskirts? Do you want to be in the action, or do you want to live somewhere kind of like more in the nature? So if you're around people and you ask around, you can get your answers to these questions. And the reason I don't say like book 1 to 3 months apartment or house is that if you do that and you book it in the wrong spot, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to have regret. Say you get a spot in more of like a quiet suburb when you actually wanted to be where all the action's at, where you wanted to walk to everything, to walk to your dates, walk to your shopping, the gym, everything's right there. But instead you're on the outskirts where you're going to have to drive or Uber in every day, and it's not what you want. You're going to either end up breaking your contract on your Airbnb, on your lease, and having to pay money for that, or you're going to end up having to schlep over there every day and then have a feeling of regret of like, damn, I wish I was in this place. And it might be a little bit of a sting, maybe not too much, but it still is not your preferred existence. And when you're looking at a longer term basis of 1 to 3 months, like in that context, it's kind of a long time in my opinion, because when I really want something, I usually am like, boom, let's go. And I usually end up breaking the lease, and I've done that a bunch of times. When it's on a short term Airbnb, it's not so bad, but when it does a longer term like this one for 6 months, then it can be more of an annoyance. So I would recommend that when you go to new places. You know what to do. Don't outstay your visa. And I think overall that should be some good tips on you plotting out on where you're going to go and how you're going to stay there. So we'll see you guys in the next video.